Welcome to this video on how to figure. I'll show you how to put figures in your LaTeX documents, be that graphs, diagrams, images, whatever it is. Okay, so as with most of the other videos, we start with the most basic document, document class article, begin document, hello world, end document, and the PDF as always just looks like this, page 1, hello world. Okay, I'll also just show you the directory that I'm in. So I'm in this directory here. We've got the PDF that we just looked at. We've got the .tex file that I'm in within my editor, and then I've got two figures here in this fig folder, which I will be putting into the document. So I've got an example graph, and this is a PDF file, and then I just took a snipping tool snip of this icon here to give me a PNG file, which is obviously this image here. And then I'll put both of those. I thought to do a PDF and a PNG just to show you that both work and some of the advantages of PDF, but you can do JPEG and so on. Okay, let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do is we need a package to be able to put images in our document. So the package that we need is graphics. So we'll use package, and then it's graphic, and then a X at the end, graphics. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Let me just put some text in here for our so we can see where the images go. So we'll just say this is the line of text above the figure in my LaTeX document. There we go. Just typeset that correctly. Okay, and then let's put in a figure. So the half correct, sort of not the correct way to do it, but the starting steps is to say backslash include graphics, and then to say figs, and then let's start with the example graph.pdf. Okay, and this command here will put it into our document. Now this is not correct, but it gets the idea across. We'll do a correct version now. Okay, so here we go. We've got this line in our document, and that command typesets LaTeX quite nicely, and then we've just got the figure sitting in here. So this is similar if you've watched the table video. This is similar to when you put the table in using tabular. You don't have much control over it, it just goes and plonks it there. So let's improve that. So similar to with a table, we need to wrap this in a figure environment. So we'll say begin figure. I'm going to indent that and then say end figure. There we go. Okay. And okay, let me build that. And yeah, don't worry about how I build my documents. Your editor should have a play button somewhere that you can press. I do have some videos up on how to set up some editors for LaTeX. Okay, so now we've got it here, and the figure's now gone to the top of the page. So this line is now actually not above the figure, but we can use the float specifier to change that. So let me place a line below the text. Below the figure, sorry, text below the figure. Okay, let me build that again. Okay, so we've got our two lines, one above, one below, and our figure is above. So we can update that with flow specifier, so we can put H for put it here in our document. So we can do that, and once we run that, it goes and puts the figure where it appears in the document, or at least it tries to. We've got bottom, which I'll quickly do, which puts it right at the bottom of that page, so it's now at the bottom. And then we've also got top, but it was automatically at the top, so we'll just stick to here for now. Okay, so let's say, let me just make sure that works. Okay, so let's first put this figure in the middle and then maybe resize it. So to put in the middle, we can just use the centering command. There are also other commands you can use, but centering works pretty well. That should put it in the middle. Okay, maybe let me just build that and make sure. There we go, that's in the middle. and then we can adjust the width of the image. So let's make it text width. That's one of the nice things here. So we can say, so we use square brackets before the curly braces, so square brackets, and then we say width, width is, and then we say text width. And if we run that, it should scale our image to be text width, so that's between this left margin and the right margin. So that's quite nice. Maybe that's too big and we want it a bit smaller. We can also say 0.6. Oops. Why is that not working? Oh, numlock is. Anyway, let me do that. 0.6 text width. Okay, and then it'll now be 60% of text width. We can also use height. So instead of text width, we can specify a height. Now text height doesn't make too much sense in here. So let's do 3 centimeters. So we can also, that didn't change it too much, let's do something too big. 8 centimeters. There we go, now it's massive, now it's going past the borders, which is a no-no in academic documents. Okay, so I'm going to change this back to text width. No, let's do 0.5 text width. Oh, again, numlock. Sorry. There we go. Okay, and that is working. Cool. Now let's give this a caption. This is the figure, and we can also give it a label. Let's say, yeah, that's fine. Figure example. Okay, if we build that, we see we have got figure 1. This is a figure, and then I can refer to that in the text below. So let me do that. Let's go. This is my text below the figure. We are talking about, and then say figure ref example fig. It is a nice figure. Thanks, Copilot. There we go. We're talking about figure 1, and it automatically presents figure 1. Okay, so that's sort of one step. Often we want to put 2 figures next to each other or something like that. So I'll show you that next, and I'll also use the PNG. So here we're doing PDF, and then let me do the PNG now. So what we can do is we can just copy all this down and have gone and placed the figure below it. But let's say we want them as one figure, so we want an A and a B. We don't want figure 1 and figure 2. We want figure A and figure B. And also putting these side by side wouldn't have worked too nicely. So to do that, there's another package that we need, and this package is subcaption. Use package subcaption. Alright, now what subcaption allows us to do is put subfigures within a figure. So I'm quickly going to get rid of that. I'll just store that down here quick. So if we think about it, we've got begin figure, some stuff, end figure. Okay. Now what we can do is within the begin figure, we can then go and say begin sub figure. But because the sub figure is within a figure, we first need to tell it its width. So let's say numlock. Oh my word. 0.5 text width. And then we'll also put some stuff in there, but let's say end subfigure, and then we copy that again, and then now we've got 2 subfigures, and then within each of these subfigures, almost exactly the same as we would have done with the main figure. So main figure has got figure, centering, caption, end figure. We can do exactly that within each of these figures. So let me put this command that we had here into the first one, and just indent that, and then in the second one, graphics, let's use height for this one, 3 centimeters, and then we say figs. Now if your figures are just in the same directory as your text file that you're working in, you don't need the figs, or you could have multiple subfolders and figs something something. Now I'll just say snipping tool, what do I call it, image dot png. Okay, so that's that image over there. Now let's just take a look at what this looks like and if it works. There we go. Okay, so we've got one image here, the first one and the second one, and you can see they above and below each other. Now this is one of the only things in LaTeX that has confused me, is to put a percentage sign over there. Goes and puts these side by side. Do not ask me why that works. Usually they should be on the same, so let's say I think we'd make this like 3.5 text width. We can take that away, and because they definitely fit on the text width, they'll be next to each other. They won't drop below a page, well, one below the other. But if it's 0.5, I have not been able to find in the documentation why that's necessary, but it is. Okay, now you would have noticed that this image is really small, whereas we said it must be 0.5 text width. Although 0.5 text width used to be from about here to about here, but now suddenly it's like half of that. And the reason for that is that we've gone and said that this figure must be 0.5 text width. And because we're in that figure, this 0.5 text width is now 0.5 of 0.5. So I recommend changing this to line width. It just makes it clearer that once we've inside a 0.5 text width, we then deal with the line width, and we can just make this line width. We don't need to do anything more than that. So that's now exactly 0.5 text width, because it's one line width, and that line width is within a 0.5 text width. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now I've got those two images, but as you can see, they are both sort of left aligned, so it looks a bit odd. So we can, as we've done for the main figure with centering, we can just copy that in there and put a centering for both of those images. If we build that, it goes and centers them both, and then we can give each of them a caption. So let's give this a caption. This is the first subfigure, cool, and this is the second subfigure, and then I can refer to each of those as well. Here I refer to the first subfigure as that, and the second subfigure as figure ref. So exactly the same as you'll see here for the main figure, figure tilde slash ref, fig example fig. We do that for the subfigures exactly the same, and LaTeX goes and figures it out for us. Now we might need to build this twice. It'll show some, so when it shows exclamation marks like this in the document, it's because it doesn't know what that reference is, but you just need to run it twice. So the first time it puts in the figure and it sort of organizes what number they should be according to all the figures in the document, and then the second time it's now ordered all of those, and then it can put them in correctly. And here we can see A first subfigure, B second, and if we refer to figure 1, and here we can refer to figure 1A and 1B. And note that if we were to put another figure, let's say above this, these would change to 2 automatically. Maybe let's just do that. So I'm just going to place I'm going to change these from subfigures to just a full figure. There we go. And then just indent that. This is the first whole figure, and then I need to change this label obviously as well, otherwise I'll confuse it. Whole fig 1, and I want this to be at the top of the page, so we'll just say top. There we go. Okay. Now again, we might see question marks appearing. So these have now stayed as 1, 1, 1, but as soon as I run that a second time, those should update. There we go. So because we've put in a new figure, that's figure 1, and we had to run it twice, and now we can see that figure 2 is automatically changed to figure 2, 2A, and 2B. So this is really nice when you're working on your document and you need to change things around, and you don't want, you don't have to go back and re-change numbers and things, which is cool. And Also, you can see that this line width, because it's now just within the sort of overall text width, the line width is actually a line width. Okay, let me get rid of this figure for now. Okay, so I think there's one more thing that I want to show you, and that is if I make a super long caption in a subfigure. So caption that will go over a single line. Okay, let's see if that works. Yes, look at how it has wrecked these images. So this is still saying figure 2. Let me just build that once more, just to get it back to figure 1. There we go. So you can see that now these figures are not aligned anymore, which is quite annoying. But they are actually kind of aligned, and if you look at it, the bottom of this guy is aligned here with the top of this guy. Now what we can do to change that is within our, now my captions made this weird. Let me take that away. So what we can do is, where we say begin subfigure, we can put in our specifier here and say T and T. So what this does is it says that our captions need to be aligned at the top. So the top of this caption is aligned with the top of that caption. And now it looks all good again, I guess. Now one last sort of thing that I really would suggest you, if you export your figures and things out of a programming language, be it Python or MATLAB or whatever you're working with, or when you generate figures in whether it be Inkscape or your Tix figures or whatever, is to try and export them as PDFs, just because PDFs are vectorized, which means if I zoom in on this, so if I zoom in on, let's say I want to zoom in on the intersection point here, I can sort of zoom really far and it always updates the quality to be sort of perfect. So you can see that looks really good. So this editor only allows me, this PDF viewer only allows me to zoom this far, but you could, argument's sake, zoom infinitely and it should always look perfect. Maybe the point gets across more on like this X. You can see it looks perfect. Whereas with PNGs, they are sort of rasterized, where they've got pixels, and each pixel's got a color, and that cannot be updated. So your quality is diminished, I guess. Yeah, so stick to PDFs if possible. And yeah, good luck. I think that's everything I had kind of prepared to do. As always, I'll link these different package documentations on the GitHub page. Just a note that subcaption, I actually recommend Googling and looking at the Stack Overflow answers on some of the subcaption stuff over the documentation. Their documentation is one of the more difficult ones to read, in my opinion. Cool. Hope this helps.